All right, guys, I wanted to talk about Professor X and Magneto, this is why I'm doing this video. I want people that don't read the comics, and I want people that, um, you know, just know the X-Men from just the movies and maybe even the animated series in the early 90s. I want to kind of show people how more complicated the X-Men is than what the movies portray. Now, look, a movie has 2 hours to tell a story. I'm not, even though, look, when I say the last movie was terrible, I'm comparing it to the other X-Men movies that I did like. You know, it's not like I'm not trying to be unfair and compare it to my imagination in the comic books. Okay, that's not what I'm comparing it to, but I just want to show people how complicated the X-Men really are. You know, it's not a story of a good side versus a bad side. In fact, the X-Men, right, are not really like, they're really unsung heroes. They're not really heroes. You know, like they don't get credit when they save the world from destruction, you know. And they don't want credit. You know, that's not what they do it for. You know, that's not Xavier's, you know, whole thing. Like, totally, give us some credit. You know, they're not like the Avengers. You know what I mean? They're not like Captain America. They don't get credit when they do something good, okay, or when they save the world from utter destruction, right? And I just believe, you know, when you look at this, it's a story of conflict, right? Meaning, I don't believe, you know, aside from some characters, like I believe Apocalypse is an evil character. You know, I think it's more complicated than that. I get that. It's more of a, I'm not the biggest Apocalypse expert or anything, but from my understanding, Apocalypse was raised by a group of people in Egypt that believe that only the strong should survive. Like a very extreme Darwinian kind of philosophy. You know what I mean? And it's kind of, and he kind of took it to an extreme level, you know, when you take his power into account and mutants into account and stuff like that. You know, but there are some characters that are, you could say, that's totally a bad guy, a complete extremist, right? And you could totally see there are some characters in X-Men that are good people, genuinely good people, right? But the overall story, in the cosmic level, it's not about good versus evil. That's not what the story's about. It's not that humans are evil. It's not that the X-Men are evil, obviously, and it's not that Magneto's evil, right? To me, it comes down to Magneto and Xavier X and mankind. That's what the story comes down to, right? You have 2 men with 2 philosophies. They want the same thing. They want safety and security for mutants. They both love mutants. They both, in their own way, take care of mutants, you know. When Magneto sees a mutant, you know, and what humans may think as, oh, that fucker is disgusting, or she's disgusting, to Magneto, it's like beautiful. Like, he loves mutants, you know. The same with Charles Xavier. He loves mutants, too. They both love their mutants, you know, so, and they both want the same thing. If the world was perfect and everybody was good, and there was no conflicts of any sort, Magneto would be right next to Xavier holding hands singing Kumbaya. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like he's not here just to start trouble. You know, he's not like a mustache trolling, like, mwah, evil, like I'm going to destroy the earth. Like, that's not Magneto. Right? Alright, so think about, like, use your imagination for a moment. Right? There's nothing more, no movie, no nothing can surpass your imagination. Okay? So I want you to really think about it. Right? Let's say right now, you knew for a fact that there was an individual, right? A human, was a mutant, who had the power to read your mind. Not only to read what you're thinking at the moment, but dig deep into your past and bring out shit that you don't even remember at the moment. You know what I mean? All the way to your subconscious mind. Your deepest fears, your greatest love, the whole nine. Okay? Someone has the power to do that. Think of an individual who has the power to shapeshift and look like your girlfriend. Shapeshift and look like your mother. Shapeshift and look like your grandfather. Shapeshift and look like you. Just think about that. Think about it, if there were mutants really alive right now. And all you knew is that they had these supernatural powers to move objects, to disappear and reappear, to move faster than the eye can see. Like I said, to read your mind, to shapeshift. You wouldn't be concerned about things? You wouldn't be concerned about someone who can shapeshift into the president and press and have the nuclear codes. Somebody could read the mind of the president and have the nuclear codes. You wouldn't be concerned about, your own personal safety. The movies didn't hit this hard enough. They just didn't. The paranoia, okay, we're just human. Of course we would be concerned. Are you kidding me? You see, you need to not look at it as I grew up, watching the X-Men or reading about the X-Men. I love me some X-Men. Oh, they're so good. Like, don't look at it that way. Look at it from your perspective, the way you're living now. If you found out that there was these individuals who could do these things. Your whole world will turn upside down. Right? I mean, your whole world will just turn upside down. Right? See, even in the animated series, they just made it seem like they try to make it seem like mutants were just like a new race of people that were being discriminated against. Are they different? Yes. Are there going to be some people that hate them just because they're different? Sure. But that's not the worldwide paranoia. The worldwide paranoia is these motherfuckers have the ability to do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? That's a paranoia. So to, in any way, shape, or form, now want to find a quote-unquote cure to stop mutation, of course it would want to do that. Okay? Of course it would want to find whoever the fuck could read minds, okay, and stop him from reading minds. Of course it would look at the overall security of the world. This is the conflict and the dynamic that both these individuals find themselves in. Charles Xavier is trying to have the world accept humans, right? As one of their own. He's trying to basically, Charles Xavier's philosophy is, if a human tries to kill me and I have the power to stop it, not only do I stop it, but before I practice self-defense, since I am more powerful than them, not only will I not defend myself by killing them, as they were trying to do me, killing is going to be the absolute last resort. Killing them was going to be the last resort. If I could stop them from killing me and not kill them, I'll do that. That's Xavier's philosophy, because to him, and if you think about it, it makes some sense, right? A little delusional in my opinion, but it makes some sense. Let's say you go out of your way to go kill him, right? I'm going to kill you, and for whatever reason he stops you from killing him, and he could have killed you, but he doesn't kill you, and he lets you go. Well, you walk away from that saying, I totally, misunderstood these mutants, my bad. Can that happen? Sure. Or maybe, humans are very fickle. It's just, they may just see that as a form of weakness, So, Magneto's philosophy is a little different. Magneto's philosophy is, if you try to shoot me, not only do I stop that bullet, okay, I'll throw a whole fucking car at you, right? I have a right at that point to tear your body apart if I want. I have a right to destroy you, for even trying to kill me, right? In Magneto's mind is, if you try to kill me, I kill you. Like I'm not here to show mercy. I'm not going to go out of my way, to please the humans. I'm not going to go out of my way to allow them to keep governments and power and structure that has my fate in their hands. That's not what you see. Xavier wants to be part of the system, join the system, and get along with the system. Magneto wants to destroy the system. Magneto wants to take over the system. In his mind, it's if anybody's going to be at anybody's mercy, they're going to be at my mercy. I'm not going to be at their mercy. I'm the more powerful one. Why should I be at their mercy? And only then will we achieve peace. And that's basically, in a nutshell, the situation both guys are in. They both understand the paranoia of humans. But in Magneto's mind it's Professor X. Like, Professor, they're not stupid. They're never going to just trust us. It's almost impossible for them to trust us. So what we have to do is we need to take control before they destroy us. It's either us or them. Magneto's only acting he's in survival mode. Fight or flight. Magneto's fighting constantly. Fight or flight. Professor X he'll fight only if necessary, but he'll fight if he has the ability to. So that is, the conflict that is going on. It's a story of conflict. It's not a story of good versus evil. Again, like I said, if everybody got along, Magneto would be holding hands with everybody else, singing Kumbaya too. But that's not the world we live in. That is not the world we live in. We live in a world where, just think about people in your own personal life. Everybody's different, and at any moment, humans. Just think about it. You could kind of look at this from the perspective, even in real life situations, right? Like, think about the Syrian refugees that they're going to let in the United States, right? What do you always hear? What's the argument to not let them in? It only takes just one of those 4,000 they're letting in to do something, and they're going to kill somebody, right? That's it. Can you imagine? And it just takes one mutant to do some crazy shit. It just takes one mutant. So you got to look at it that way. And that's the situation they're in. And they never reach peace. Why? If you do it Charles Xavier's way, it's only a matter of time between some human somewhere or some group of humans who do harm to a mutant. If you do it Magneto's way, it's only a matter of time before some mutant does something to a human. So there's always a conflict there. And what they ultimately want, Charles Xavier is looking at a progression. It's like in the long term, because to Charles Xavier, he understands what humans are capable of. There's billions of them, right? There's billions of us, and they build the Sentinels, and if you go in some X-Men's, even the animated series, if you remember, or the comics, you go to the future, and it's like, following Xavier's way just didn't work. Eventually, the humans they always plotted behind the scenes, and they always, creating Sentinels and machines to fight, the mutants and find them and destroy them. And of course, Magneto's way, would just, all they did was accelerate all these things from happening, It just accelerated it. So, to Professor X, it's, look, if we fight against them, they're going to build some machines, they're going to hurt a lot of mutants too. It's going to be a lot of death. And in Magneto's mind is, look, we're trying it your way, Xavier, and it's not working. So it's a story of conflict. It's a story of conflict. That's what the X-Men is. It's not about good guy versus bad guy. It's about individuals making decisions that they feel is right. Magneto feels in his heart that he's a good guy. Magneto doesn't feel like he's the villain. Magneto sees humans as the villains. So, those are my thoughts. Peace.